everybody, it's Suki, the Brown-Eyed Stitcher, and today's video is going to be long. So what we have planned today is a stack of projects to show you and questions to answer. Now there's as many questions as there are my age. So, as a recap, in my last Flosstube video, I asked how old you thought I looked and how old you think I actually am, knowing that I look younger than my actual age. So those were really fun, and I'm going to reveal a few numbers about that in a little bit. So I am going to say how old I am at the end of the video after we've also covered these questions, just for fun. We're doing questions instead of like this many facts about me because I didn't want to sit and actually think up the facts, and so I gathered up questions to help guide my random talking. So we're just going to get started and see where this takes us today. My daughter did say she wanted to sit in on this today, and I told her she couldn't talk unless it was her part to talk, and so she opted not to stay in here because I don't think she thought that she could stay quiet while I answered these questions because she saw these questions. So, but never fear, everybody. She actually edits these videos for me, and otherwise I don't know that I'd ever get them posted. So she does that and like fills out the description box for me as well. So she's gonna see all of this anyway and make all her comments then. Yay. All right, we're just gonna get started. First, let's show her project. She is working on this one, No Smoking by Randall Spangler, by Heaven and Earth Design, and it makes her laugh every time. It is so cute. Also, I have a new setup. I was gifted a ring light for my birthday, and anyway, all of this is going to be fantastic. We shouldn't have any focus problems. It's close enough to my face I can see. The only thing is that because it's, anyway, I'm going to not look at the camera a whole lot because I'm not used to this. Anyway, this is where she's at. She just finished filling in this red part here, and she is super, super excited about this. So this is 25 count, easy count, stitched 2 over 1 10th stitch because she's my daughter and wanted to do what I was doing. I did give her options and kind of explain the benefits and like the pros and cons of all the things, and she liked what I had been doing. She was familiar with it, knew what questions to ask and all of that. This is a total of 85,950 stitches, so it's not a very big chart, and she has just over 3,000 stitches in here and is at 3.65% done. Okay, next, we'll answer a question here, and we're going to answer this at random. Oh dear, if you had unlimited money to start your own business, what would it be? I don't know. tried not to think of my answers beforehand because I was stressing out about it. I was stressing out about how some of these questions I don't know the answers to. I don't know what business I would start, but I know what I would do. I would create a gathering place. Like have an indoor and outdoor space so that there's flexibility for gatherings of all kinds. Maybe it's just like a party, or maybe it's a dance, a birthday party, a holiday, but also a place for people to come and share in what they're doing, whether it's, stitching like this, or dancing, or playing an instrument, or composition, poem writing, artistry, all sorts of creations. I want a place where people can come together and have an evening in which they can showcase what they've been working on or something that they're really proud about, and just bring together like normal people like you and I, and have a place to share in that. So not a business, but if I had unlimited money, I would do that. I'd have an indoor place and I'd have an outdoor place because I like greenery and gardens too, and I would like to like combine those together. Man, I have a lot of things to cover here, I feel like. So it's been 2 weeks since I last showed you anything, and it feels like a long time since I worked on this. But it's only been just over a week. This is Frodo and Galadriel, artwork by Stewart, charted by Heaven and Earth Design. And this is being stitched on 25 count Lugana. This is my oldest whip. Started in 2016. This is where I'm at now. She's so pretty. Okay, I finished a page. That's like the corner of the page, so here's page 1. And when I did this, it felt like this huge milestone because you know that my treasure hunt bookshelf is quite full, and I've stitched a lot on that one, but I don't think of it in terms of pattern pages. So this feels like the first page finish. It just does. It just does. This has been a journey. Over here in the corner, it's 2/1 full cross, but now most of this is half cross, and here's close up. Hopefully that's close up. You really can't tell that there's a difference. Let's see, numbers. This is, I added 3,195 stitches to it, so it is now at 4.32% done. Okay, and I just folded this up really weird, so it's not going to go back in my bag very well. I have more questions than I do projects, so I should answer 2 of these. What's the worst food you've ever tried? Cilantro. Because I'm one of those people where it tastes like soap. If the space program was looking for volunteers to explore an alien planet, would you sign up? I think so. I don't know why they would want me, but I think I would go. I think I would sign up. They just might not choose me. What's your favorite board game? I don't know that I have one. Even if I extend this into card games, I don't know that I have one. I have ones I definitely don't like. And I don't know that I have a favorite. The last one I played, I can tell you that. The last game I played it's called Forbidden Island. And you're trying to get all the treasures. It's a cooperative game. So you're working together to get the treasures and then fly off the island before it sinks. It's flooded. Before it's flooded. Alright, the same week as Frodo and Galadriel, I worked on this chart. It's called Under the Sea. It was a stitch along in 2017 by Lakeside Needlecraft. It's designed by Doreen Jones. And I started this in 2017. And here's where I am at. The problem is that I can't see the screen. You can either see this or I can see, but not both. All right, so what I was working on was part 6. This section, and I finished out the back stitch and some of the like bubbles going on here and stuff, and like the orange things by this fish I had forgotten about. And then I moved on to part 7, and I got in some of the, I don't know what under the sea things are called. And then there's 5 fish. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This and this is part of the mermaid, and she fills up the rest of this space, the mermaid. Yeah. So this is now over halfway done, and I'm not looking forward to this part whenever it comes out again, which will be like in a month. But all of this sparkly stuff, like you can see it in the octopus, it's also going to show up in the mermaid's tail. It is this, E3849, and it is the awfulest stuff to work at. But I was watching Stephanie at Sew Glover Creations. She does a lot of like glow-in-the-dark thread, and she was talking about using like a gloss type thing to help work with the threads. And I don't know if it's a good idea to try this on metallic thread, so if anybody has experience, tell me before I work on this. But I actually have some beeswax that I've never used. There you go. And I'm wondering if I can use the beeswax on the metallic and maybe not hate it as much, but would it ruin the metallic? Because metallic thread's not the same as like a silk or a cotton or something. Someone tell me, because I don't know. Although I will give it a try. I'm totally willing to be the guinea pig here and give it a try, but I kind of assume that somebody would have given this a try before. Alright, next question. What is the next place on your travel bucket list and why? The next place, I have no idea. I would really like to travel to... Okay, Okay, foreign, if we're talking foreign travel, I'd really like to travel to Scotland. For some reason, that one has been really standing out to me lately. But I'd really like to go everywhere, so it's really hard to say where I would go next. The next place I am traveling to is Oklahoma, but it's not necessarily, it's for people that I'm seeing. They're not because it's on my travel bucket list. How many hours do you get to the airport before a flight? At least an hour and a half. 1.5 to 2 hours. Because you never know about the security lines, y'all. And I don't like to be stressed out by feeling like I could be late. I don't. At all. We're going to do another question here. If you were forced to open a restaurant, what would it be called and what would you serve? Okay, a friend gave me this question, and I have to admit that they probably very specifically put forced because I don't think I want to own a restaurant ever. I don't know what it would be called, and I don't know what I would serve. Can I just not answer that question? Okay, but if I was forced to. Oh my gosh. Naming things is stressful to me. Even like if I were naming characters, like a video game character that you could delete later on, it stresses me out. And what I would serve, I really don't know. Something very delicious, of course. It would be amazing because I can't do anything not amazing, of course. I've got it. Crepes. Zeusy's Creperie. All right, next project. We're gonna move on. Queen of the Night by Josephine Wall, charted by Heaven and Earth Design. And I think I'm going to slightly switch up like my plans for the year and see how much is it possible to finish this year while still meeting my treasure hunt bookshelf goal, because that's my main focus piece, but this is my second focus. But this is how far I got. I finished the first page and I started working on the second page. And for fun, I decided to do it color by color across this whole page. And you can see taking it into other pages as makes sense to. I added 5,293 stitches, so it's at 8.7%. It's not very big. I mean, let's be honest, this is my smallest full coverage piece. Well, my smallest Heaven and Earth Design piece. I do have a Dimensions kit full coverage. But that feels manageable to finish this year, depending on what else I stitch on, I guess. The reason I want to finish that this year is because it's a gift for a friend, and this year is a big birthday for her. I'm probably not going to see her at that point because she lives in a different state, but it would be fun for me to finish it by then so I could show her anyway. We'll see. My original plan was to have it finished by the time I was going to see her following her birthday. So, next question. If you could have a 3-hour luncheon with 3 people from history, dead or alive. I'm not sure why that's clarified. Who would they be? I mean, if they're from history, aren't they all already dead? But if I'm having lunch with them, I'd hope that they were alive, not dead. 3 hours, that's a long luncheon, y'all. Okay, 3 people from history. Who would they be? I think I would just ask whoever was arranging this historical luncheon to please surprise me. And to have a variety of people. Because I feel like you can know history or a country from anybody, and you'd have a very different view if you were like a duke or a king, as you would if you were a blacksmith or an artist. So, cop out. I feel like I'm giving cop out answers here, and that's okay. They're my answers. When was the last time you cried and why? Now this is easy. Because on Saturday, I had a migraine, and it was a quite a bad migraine, and it made me cry. So that was the last time. What's an essential part of your daily routine? What's an essential part of your daily routine? Anything that is part of my actual routine is essential. One of the things that I do in the morning is, as I'm like feeding all my pets and whatever, is I make, I don't drink coffee, but I do drink the cocoa equivalent, brewed cacao. It's like the same thing as coffee, but like the cacao bean, so no caffeine, but the theobromine that the cacao bean has. Anyway, I drink that. Oops, I'm dropping stuff. So I make myself a cup in the morning, and I drink that, and it's become an essential part of my day. Next up, oh, it was my birthday last week, obviously. That's why we're answering all of these questions, and you're getting to know me way more than you probably ever wanted to. But I ended up making 2 new starts. One is Twisted Band Sampler by Northern Expressions Needleworks. And this is one that I've wanted to stitch for years and years and years, but never have. So in case you haven't ever seen them, this is like cross stitch, and then these bands are specialty stitch. And then it goes back to cross stitch and specialty stitch all the way down to the end. There are 17 bands in total. And I'm stitching this with the called for colors and floss, which is DMC, but then also Irrational colors. So these are what the specialty stitches will be stitched in, are these colors. At least I hope I'm doing this correct. That's what I'm doing. Anyway, I'm stitching this on black 32 count Belfast linen, and I'm only on the first band still, but the second color, and that will continue down here. I've never stitched on black before, but I have stitched on linen before, so that part's not new. So that'll be fun. I'm really looking forward to the specialty stitches. And there's that. Maybe I'll do a Stitch With Me live when I get to the specialty stitches part, and you can experience them with me. What are you most proud of in the last year? What am I most proud of? I don't know. I don't know. One of the things I'm proud of is in starting this Flosstube channel and getting to know everybody in an additional way than I had before. So that was in the last year. What's something I would never guess about you? Or that you would never guess about me? I was homeschooled and all the way, kindergarten until I was 16. When I was 16, I went to a community college and got my associate's degree at age 18. If you had to spend $10,000 today, how would you spend it? I would put it towards a van conversion, like one of those camper vans where you have like a tall van and then you like get a bed and stuff in it, and then you can go and like sleep in it. That's what I would do. I would put $10,000 towards that, and then I would go on a trip, and I'd love it. Do you have a favorite type of exercise? I think I would say dance, but I like exercising, although I haven't been able to do a whole lot of it over the last few years. So I also like to do things like jumping up on boxes and like slamming medicine balls on the ground. I like to do things like that. I don't like to do things that are super monotonous a lot, but I do like to exercise when I'm able to. I feel like there's still so many questions in here. All right, next new start. This is the one I told everybody about last week. It's Neuschwanstein Castle, artwork by Robert Finale, and it's super, super pretty. This one I saw Ashley at Boogie Stitcher here on YouTube. She's stitching this as well, and I had to have it because I've been looking out for one that I really liked, and I really liked this one. I'm going to tell you, in the description box, I will leave links to all my projects and where you can find them, including this one. However, for this one, I got it on an Etsy shop, and it's no longer listed, but I did reach out to the shop, and they're not planning on listing it again, but said that they would do a custom listing if anybody reached out and wanted it. So I will leave that information in the box because I have gotten a whole lot of questions on where you can get this pattern from. And so I was super excited that they said they'd do a custom listing. But it has 60 colors in it, and it's here's how big it is, but that means like nothing to me. Everything is like, this is smaller than my super size, which doesn't help anybody whatsoever to know how big a project is. This is stitched on 25 count Lugana, and that's my birthday start. I did this live on YouTube, so if you want to see how I started this and worked my way through it, and also listen to me ramble on for an hour and a half, you can do that. The video is on my channel. So I started this on February 24th, 2022. It is, of course, 2/1 10 stitch, my normal. In total, it has 156,400 stitches, which is about the same as Queen of the Night by Josephine Wall, I believe. I got in 360 stitches right here, and that is 0.23%. There's the whole fabric. So I love it, and I'm super happy that those of you who wanted to get this chart will be able to. Because for a second there, I was like, oh no, it's not up anymore. I don't know what to tell people. Okay, question. How many questions do I have left? If you could own a mythical creature, which one would you pick? That one's easy. Fire lizards from Anne McCaffrey's World of Pern. What movie or literary character do you most connect with? Okay, I don't even remember this question, so I don't have an answer. What movie or literary character do I most connect with? I don't know. I'm not even sure I could tell you the last one, because this is hard. This is hard. Okay, maybe I should come back to this. I do, I don't know, but I feel like if I had a little bit more time to think, I would be able to come up with one, because I feel like it's in the part of my brain that just needs a second. So I'm just going to set this to the side, and I may come back to it, and I may not. What's the story of your name? Okay, well, Suki is a nickname. My parents found it and don't know where. They don't remember. And they liked it. And then they found out that it was a nickname for Susanna. So they legally named me Susanna, but always call me Suki, except for when I was in trouble. So when I did go to college, that was kind of the first time that people had to look, and they would say Susanna and stumble over my last name. And I would say, that's me, but I go by Suki, which, yeah. And anytime I have to do something legal that requires my legal name, and I have to remember that it's not Suki, it's Susanna. And if this question was the name of my channel, my eyes are brown. And I'm a stitcher. Suki, brown-eyed stitcher. All right, do you believe in the supernatural, as in ghosts? Rationally, like, my mind doesn't, but my nervous system sure does. I don't do scary things, like, at all. So, there's that. Look, this is how many questions we've got left, guys. So, what is your favorite season and why? Spring, because everything is new and growing, and because winter negatively affects me like it does so many of us, and I get cold very easily, And so spring is like coming out of all of that. And I just love birth and renewal, and it feels very like creative to me. So, and where I live, it's feeling like spring. So, and I have daffodils out, so that's exciting. All right, the last thing I worked on is, of course, Treasure Hunt Bookshelf by Amy Stewart, charted by Heaven and Earth Design. This is the supersize max color version because I needed all the detail for this because I loved it so much. And this one reached the very exciting milestone of 250,000 stitches, which is exciting. But this is where I am. I have no idea where I was last time you saw it, but I've been working on this girl. She comes down and extends into the third shelf, which will be next year. I really don't like not being able to see the camera. So I've been working on her, and I love the color of her ribbon and how it comes down, and it'll come, there's two parts to it, down here and down here. And one thing that kind of freaked me out is that in her back is some random green stitches. And while I was stitching it, I just had to remind myself to trust the pattern because it's just part of the shading, and it was all going to work out, and it really does. Look at that. I am just completely loving this. There's bubbles. I didn't even realize there were bubbles in this second shelf until I was stitching them. Like there are on the top shelf, but I didn't know they were here. And this was a lot of confetti, but it looks amazing, the hourglass down here. So what did I do? This got 8,406 stitches and is at 34.77%. Now that one is my focus piece, and it's the first thing I work on every day, and I work until right around 500 stitches. I try to reach at least 500 because that will keep me on track even on days when I'm on a trip and can't take that one with me. Oh, I get asked about my scroll rods a lot on that one. They're custom made scroll rods by Kay's Creation. In Flosstube video number 4, because this one's number 5, in Flosstube video number 4, right at the beginning, I show my setup with my Treasure Hunt bookshelf and talk all about it. So go over there and you can see my rods and my stand and hear me talk about how that is. All right, more questions. I'm trying to gauge how many more things I need to show you. What's your favorite sleeping position? On my side, fetal, curled up in a ball. That's not good for my back and my neck, but it is my favorite way to sleep. What is your most embarrassing moment? I have one story, and let's see how delicately I can tell this story. The short version is that I had to get on an airplane while at a certain point of my feminine cycle, and the products I was using combined with the pressure of the airplane going up into the air caused a massive problem that I was kind of stuck with for the next like 5 hours on an airplane, and then getting a rental car, and then I think I still had to drive like an hour to an hour and a half to my final destination after that point. And I was going to see my sister, and she was getting married. I was going to help out with her wedding. And this was the first time I had officially met her fiance. And he was there, and he was like, "Hi, so nice to meet you." And I'm like, I'm showering. And I like walked straight to her bathroom to shower and clean up. And he was like, "Is it me?" And she's like, "No, this happened on the airplane." Did I do a good job telling you what happened without like being very detailed? That was, and ever since then, I kind of dread getting on an airplane if I am in that situation again. So, fun times. All right. Would you ever run a marathon? I think I would, just for the challenge of doing it. Not because I think I'd actually like to run that much, because running that much actually sounds pretty terrible. But the challenge of preparing my body to do that and then doing that is something I would undertake. Describe one of the greatest risks you've ever taken. One of the greatest risks I've ever taken is to heal from trauma, many kinds of trauma, and overcoming some of those mentalities that develop because of that. Allowing myself to have worth and to take up space in this world, and believe that I'm worth this space right here that I take up. That has been one of the greatest risks of my life. All right. Now I'm going to show you the projects I'll be working on over the next 2 weeks. Or at least these are the planned ones I'll work on, but we'll see. We'll see what happens. Bubble Bubble Chocolate Trouble by Randall Spangler. I started this in October or November. I guess I started this in November, but my daughter started her Randall Spangler in October. This one I actually started working on yesterday, so it's in a Q-snap already. And I finished filling in this section and then got all this black in. This is 25 count, easy count, 2/1 tent stitch, and I was about to say I don't know what else to say about this, but that's why I have cards here. It's currently at 2.24%. Well, besides not what I stitched yesterday, but prior to yesterday, this was 2.24% done. And this one, I am doing all of the sky first before doing anything else. That was my daughter's request. This one's a big one compared to Queen of the Night or Neuschwanstein Castle. Obviously, it's still smaller than Treasure and Bookshelf. Okay. If you could choose an instrument to play, which one would you choose? Okay, I already play some instruments. I play the piano. I can play violin. I can play flute, though I have not played flute in a very long time. I would not sound very good. But if I were to choose a new instrument, I really like the sound of a cello, so I might choose the cello. But I have the guitar, and I'd really like to learn how to play guitar as well. So there's that. I don't know which one I would actually choose. Name 3 of your favorite authors. Well, I guess I would probably choose guitar because I already have one versus a cello, which I don't have one at all. Name 3 of my favorite authors. Robin Mckinley, J.R.R. Tolkien, and I don't know who I want to name as a third. I like an awful lot. I'm sorry, I only named 2. I can't think of a third one right now. What is your Hogwarts house? I'm going to say Hufflepuff. What's your worst bug-related story? Okay, my worst bug-related story is that when I was 15 or 16, maybe 17, I don't know, I was somewhere 15 to 17 years old. I was asleep at night when a fly got caught in my ear. Like, not the outer part of my ear, but like it got stuck in my ear and it couldn't get out. And it woke me up because it was trying to get out. It was buzzing, and I could hear it both from outside and from inside. It probably took 15 minutes before it got out of my ear, and I was like crying and freaking out the whole time. And ever since then, I am very sensitive to sounds around my ears and also to flying bugs of any kind. If they get close enough to me, I cannot control my reaction very well. So that's my bug story. Next one I will work on is my 2022 temperature. This is Temperature Library. This is the Etsy shop, Christie's Corner. Christie's Corner needle. I guess here's but the link will also be down in the description. And I'm going to get the pack. I haven't yet, but she also has a pack with lots and lots of these little tchotchkes, and you can switch out what you stitch. So for right now, I'm just stitching the actual bookshelf and the books, and then I will add in those little things when I get to that point. So this is January, and obviously I haven't done it since then, because now I need to do all of February because we're in March now. But that's where I got. They stitch up really quite quick. It's just that I haven't pulled this out in a long time. And I'm stitching this in jewel tones, and it's not here with me, but you can see kind of jewel tones. You can see that the year started out super, super warm, and then it got really cold. Let's see. I am excited to see this one come up this week, because I like seeing it, so I'm excited for that. I have 2 more projects, but I have several more questions. What do you do for a living? I don't have a job. I do not earn money for a living, but I am a homeschool mom. So I homeschool my daughter, and I do stitch like it's my job as I'm recovering from a burnout and just gearing up with a lot of things in my life. So as of right now, I don't, but I am. I know. I do some things. I'm about to teach piano to some brand new students here in the next couple days. So I'm not sure that I wouldn't call that a living, but it is earning money. So, can you write in cursive? I can. I'm not going to say it's the prettiest, but I can. What is your favorite animal? Moose and camels. Are you good at solving puzzles? Yes and no. I think it depends on what you're saying solving puzzles are. If there's a deadline, I'm terrible, but given time, I can be pretty fast. Now, putting together puzzles, like a jigsaw puzzle, my brain works super well with that, and I think that's translates over very well to full coverage work for me, because I don't know how to explain it. It's just the way that my brain works. I see things in a particular way that is well suited to both putting together jigsaw puzzles as well as working through full coverage pieces. We're doing pretty well. And it's only 52 minutes in. Good. All right. Next week, Father Christmas is coming out. This is by Yvonne Gilbert. And this is the Max Color version, charted by Heaven and Earth Design. This, last time you saw this, which was the last video actually, it looks like, it was at 2.87%. And I've got stitches kind of everywhere because I started doing it extreme cross country with the least amount, like the color that had the least amount of stitches, because I started this in 2018, so I hadn't really figured out what I wanted to do yet with my stitching, and I was trying out all the things. Last time I worked on it, I was here and I was working on this first page, and I haven't decided yet if I'm going to keep doing this or if I want to work the color, like the color with the most stitches throughout the whole thing. I really don't know yet. These red lines are the pages, though. I don't know which one I'm going to do. I guess I still can't decide how I want to work on this piece. But either way, I'm going to work on it. I still don't know what movie or literary character I most connect with. Watch, I'm going to sleep tonight and it's just going to come to me like, oh, that's what I should have said. I have 4 questions. Let's go through them. What is your biggest irrational fear? Spiders? Who is your celebrity crush? I don't know. Who is your favorite Winnie the Pooh character? Eeyore. Always has been. Gifts or memes? Gifts, hands down. All right, last project here is Mystery Town, which this is what it could look like, but mine will not look like this. This was a stitch along in 2017, which I started in 2017, and then didn't touch again until this year in January. Anyway, how it was released is that the background was released, and I did all of that just fine, and then the parts started releasing, and every part had 2 options, and I had to pick between the 2, and I couldn't do that, and so I just didn't. But so last time I pulled it out, I had part 1, so the next time will be this part 2. This is by Ship's Manor, by the way. I don't even know what part 2 is, so let's find out. Here's what it looks like. Part 1 is this barn with beehives and the apple trees. Part 2, is a storefront. Can't show you the picture because I'll show you this one though. I think that's the same storefront I pulled out. I picked. There was 2 options. And that's the one, though I don't know what I'm going to call it because you can call it anything. And it's going to go right down here. And this little wagon thing isn't filled in, so I get to pick a color. I can put in different colors to make flowers, or red to make apples. But that's just like a little wagon that will also be a part of part 2. Who is my celebrity crush? I don't know. Oh, here it is. I'm trying to keep myself all organized. I always keep my picture in the front of my bag like that, so that it's easy for me to see what's in it. Hey, that's everything for me to show you, so let's talk my age now. Okay, I asked you how old you thought I looked and what age you then thought I actually was. So I gathered up all the numbers, and for the age that I look, the youngest was 19. Now, if I was given a range like 18 to 19 or something like that, I picked I picked one of them, or if it was a big range, I kind of picked in the middle. Anyway, so the youngest was 19, the oldest was 30. So the oldest you guys think I look is 30. And the average was 24. That's the average guess. Now, that's the average age that you guys think I look. Now, out of the age that you guessed, the youngest was 27. The oldest was 40. The average was 32. And 2 people actually landed on my actual age, which, as of my birthday, which is 35. I'm 35 now. So, it's kind of fun to me to just see that the average age that I look is 11 years younger than I actually am, and that the average age that you guessed is within 3 years, 32 versus 35. But so many of you said, but since you say that you're older than you look, and then you had to go higher. So it was fun. Thanks for participating, everybody. Yay! Yay! Okay, my next video is going to be in 2 weeks, and I've shown you a whole lot of things. We're at an hour now, which isn't too bad considering I also asked and answered 35 questions. These 2 questions right here. What movie or literary character do you most connect with? And then, who is your celebrity crush? I really don't think I have one. But I also feel like there's answers sitting in the part of my brain that I am having trouble accessing right now. So maybe they'll come out sometime and I'll actually have to write down the answers. We'll see. Viggo Mortensen, who played Aragorn in Lord of the Rings, and other things as well. But one thing I really like about Viggo is his mentality, and I love a lot of the stories that I've heard about him in how he approaches roles or in what he has done for fellow co-stars and things like that. So, Viggo and Aragorn. Characters that I relate most to are normally ones who have to overcome something that can take a very long time to overcome. So, there's a character, Alana, who's in a series written by Tamara Pierce. She is in training for years, but has to keep secrets over that time in order to be in this training that she's in. And over and over again, she just keeps at it. She keeps working. She keeps showing everybody that she can do this when it's not something that, if her secret was known, she would have been allowed to do it. Another character with a similar principle is Erin from The Blue Sword by Robin Mckinley. She gets really sick and has to overcome this sickness by taking the smallest of steps, by overcoming just little by little, and just always looking for that next thing, but also being just where she is in the moment, knowing that this is something she can do right now. And then another idea occurs to her of, now this is what I can do. And so she goes on her journey through this in this way. Those are the type of characters that I relate most to. Anyway, I hope you got some good stitching in while listening to me over the last hour, and I'll see you back. If you want to see my daily progress on these projects that I work on, I do post pictures on Instagram. That is The Brown-Eyed Stitcher. And yeah, I feel like maybe I'm a little obnoxious over there because I post every day whatever I stitch, and it's just how I can easily see what I'm doing and that I'm doing progress, and it motivates me. So hopefully that's not obnoxious, but even if it is, I am allowing myself to take up that space. So I love you all and can't wait to talk to you guys in the comments. Bye!